Hey everyone, Kyle once again. Welcome back to part two of a review of the last of the Land Before Time films, and which is part two of number 13, The Wisdom of Friends. Um, and leaving where I left off is when Loofah and his friends they managed to cover of all the pack of baryonyxes, in a pile of rocks. So while the yellow bellies managed to get away, so as they catch up and they finally get to they finally get to the place where they wanted to, where the big rock that's shaped like a yellow belly, and where they managed to finally get some water, and they see a bunch of these which they thought a bunch of which they thought that were bushes, but it turns out it's their herd, They stick their heads in the sand, and which makes look like bushes, which is a quote that Loofah said to Loofah, which at first he didn't understand, So I think what he said was stick your tush up and it'll look like a bush, Bush because their tail feathers behind, looks like a bush, when they stick their heads in the sand, So yeah, they manage to meet their herd, and when then they start singing another song which is called this Yellow Belly Dance, and so since they all met and they all asking during the night the Loofah still wants to stay with the herd, so until they leave to get them to their destination, to Berry Valley, So decided Loofah decides to lead the herd away, and which is still using to say that wisdom one stay as a group, Um, so as they're leading across this long desert, and then also while the pack of baryonyxes, they emerge out from the rock rubble, and they start tailing them once again, following their footsteps, footprints, So as and where they all get to like what we thought there was Berry Valley, which is another pack of bushes with berries in them, and they all run over there, and Loofah and his friends, they're trying to stay out of the way because they're all running in a herd, they don't want to get stepped on, But then they all managed to gobble up all the berries, and Petrie and Ducky, they all wanted to get a share, and well, the others they want to get a share, but they all gobbled up, except there was like one berry and Spike eats it, And while they're another when they're resting, there's some lightning, it startles them, and they all ask Loofah, what do we do, and they'll sort of lead the herd to another place where there's like a rock. There's like here's a rock that's hanging, so they can stay dry from the rain. A while ago, that Doofah, she goes off in a different direction. They come to like a fork on the road. They end up going to the right, but Doofah ends up going to the left, and they get to where the place, and they all start running to stay dry. They all pile on each other, and Ducky and Petrie, they all gain squashed underneath all the big pile, and well, of course, there's another cars. So they're all together. You do hear a fart joke, and one of them was as farts, and Petrie's like, well, what did he say? They say that's not funny, Yeah, I know that's I think that was the one that could have been left out, but hey. There's never been one in the whole series, so I think that one, this is not just a teensy tiny little nitpick there, But and as soon when the rain stops, they all rush out, and Petrie and Duck, they're all just like oh, they think they got imprinted into the ground, So then the herd they still continue on, But they notice that Doofah is missing, so they go the other direction where she was, and circle around on this ledge, like and then this mudslide, from the rain, blocks either side where she's standing on, and they're telling her to jump, they tell her to jump, which she's like, what, but until she fully jumps, and then the pack of baryonyxes, they catch up to them, and they all get separated, which will they all split up. The pack splits up and chasing whoever, and soon as the whole group is standing on the edge, and they ask of Loofah asks Phoebe, what should we do? What would we do? What would you do? And it's like which also Phoebe he doesn't speak. He goes those kind of noises, like Spike. It's like So they all decide to sing, and start bouncing and bouncing, and the pack is getting annoyed, which they end up back into another edge, and as they're getting closer to them, the ledges where they're standing on collapses, and they all fall down to the ground, And also while all that's happening, the grown-ups, they're concerned to where the children went, so they start to follow their footsteps, the group's footsteps to where they are, So they're follow them as well, So since now the pack is now gone, they all continue on until they finally get to Berry Valley, and Loofah thinks, it says that Loofah, you found it, but Loofah also tells him you did too, And they also consider about the wisdoms, what Loofah had said, Then they thank him for that, and so they thank him. Then they leave, heading home for home, and they see what they think is another Sharptooth, but it's Grandma Longneck and all the others, Which is why Grandpa Longneck did not appear in this, It was only just Grandma Longneck, So that's I think it's like the first and only film that Kenneth Mars didn't come back as Grandpa Longneck, and even the character didn't make an appearance, So it ends, that they meet the grown-ups and they start head back to the Great Valley, and the never ends, the adventures they have that comes in all shapes, and it ends with him saying, was something like, I think it's like it all happens in the land before time, So that's what. So yeah, for the last film, I did enjoy it, like I said before, and I'll say it again, I've enjoyed the whole series, Like I said, the first 1 through 6, I consider my favorite the best, like half of the first half of the series, I consider the favorite or the best, But I still enjoy the rest of the sequels, so whoops. But I do enjoy the film. Guess the voices of Cuba Gooding Jr. and Sandra Oh, they did really good, I enjoy their characters, Of course, the rest of the cast did good as well, The songs, the pace of it, it's on for an hour and 16 minutes or 75 minutes, It's still went at a fast pace, And this was like I said, this was the last film they did, until it led to the TV show, And to be perfectly honest, I wouldn't mind seeing more sequels, because I was looking up online, there was I have ideas for two different films, like for two different films to make it to a 14th film, like there was one where I looked at online, the growing sky stone, and another one called the sparkling forest, Those seems kind of more interesting adventures, for them to venture to, Of course, looking online, see if there's anything, if they're really gonna get made, And of course, there's some side. Of course, that's not really all true, Like they said, they say a release date is supposed to be released like last year or a couple years ago, which it's never happened, So yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing those two be made into sequels. If the makers of the Land Before Time franchise, or any of the fans of this franchise want to see those two be made into films, I wouldn't really mind seeing those making the sequels, because I enjoy the series, and I wouldn't mind seeing more, you know. But of course, maybe it's what I think to do is time to stop, because 13 sequels, you know, or 13 movies altogether, I think it's like enough, you know. But like I said, I wouldn't mind seeing like the growing sky stone or the sparkling forest, you know. I wouldn't mind seeing those be made to a 14 and 15 film, you know. So yeah, but sadly, those I don't think those are not going to be made. But if the makers of this franchise watch this, or the fans want to make those into films, you know, just hopefully they'll get made, you know. But like I said, I'm a one-man person, you know. They're not going to listen. So sometimes the makers don't want to listen to fans, you know. But what worked out for the Deadpool movie, you know? The fans like that test footage, you know, and now behold, fans are gonna get what they want. They're finally gonna make a Deadpool movie, you know. So yeah, sometimes fans listen to fans work, and sometimes listen to fans don't, you know. So yeah. Carlin Graham, LA parent, quote here, you know, saying that all kids will enjoy this adventure. I certainly did. I enjoyed the film. Same person on the back here saying a fun new offering from the Land Before Time series. I'll see to that, you know. I'll agree to that, you know. As I said, I enjoy the film, so. Voice cast did a good job. The music, like I mentioned that little piece of music, you know, I mentioned that as they're riding on that rock down the slope, that I heard that little piece of music. I swear which really is from the piece of the car chase from Mr. Magoo, you know. Because I kept on listening to that piece again and again. It's like, oh yeah, they use that piece of music from Mr. Magoo, you know. I swear on that. And also on bonus features, it contains like games, you know, like Yellow Belly Challenge, you know, and sing-alongs. But also this also contains an episode from the TV show that's not on the other series DVD, but it's called the Hidden Canyon. So they're like right there, you know. Yeah, so that's an episode from the TV show that's a bonus feature on here, you know. This episode is not on any of the discs of the ones that I have of the TV show that I have, you know. But I'll get to the TV show when I do, you know. So that's my end of end of the Land Before Time films, and I will get to a review of the TV show. So I will do that. Which that will be technically the end of the Land Before Time franchise. So, but for the movie wise, it's the last of the movies, which I hope maybe one day, one of us 2 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, maybe those two titles, maybe will get movie made. You know, like the Growing Sky Stone and the Sparkling Forest. You know, if the maker sees this, you know, at least maybe at least me though, or maybe some other people who likes those titles want those get movie made, you know, but who knows. But I certainly like to see those titles get made, you know. So yeah. So like I said, voice cast Sandra Oh and Cuba Gooding Jr. did a good job for a special guest star. Like I said, for Michael Clark Duncan, James Gardner, and Kiefer Sutherland, you know. Really good. It's always nice to see some special guest voices from good actors to voice in films like these, you know, kids films like these, you know. So yeah, so that's my review for the last of the Land Before Time films. 13, The Wisdom of Friends. I enjoyed it. So thanks for watching. Take care, and stay tuned for my which I'll get to my review of the TV show. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for that review. Later.